The all-new BMW X1 comes in all powertrain versions, as diesel or petrol, as plug-in hybrid, and the all-new iX1, the pure electric version. And here, on How to Go Through with Thomas, we'll tell you all about it, the different powertrains and the different trim levels, because we all have them here on location for you. Here, the BMW iX1, you can see it has these blue accentuations. This is the X line with these gray or silver contrasts here. But if you like, you don't have to go for this blue EV look, then only the blue logo remains, and you can depict the blue accentuations right here. But I think it looks really cool, especially also in the contrast here to the mineral white exterior color. Of course, you can also choose all the colors for all different powertrain versions. In this new generation, you can see this new white kidney. Here, it's all closed off for this, for this EV version. It doesn't need so much cooling right here. And the headlamps now always LED, and optional the matrix adaptive LED. They also then adapt in the corners, and also these more, accentuated daytime running lights. The base version would be a little bit shorter in this curve here. So a beautiful, strong look. And we have this another trim version. This is here the shadow line. The shadow line comes with these black frames around the grille. This is also the extended shadow line, and then also the vertical fins are black as well. And here the plug-in hybrid has, a cooling intake. That does work. This is also then here the frozen pure gray color, this matte gray, beautiful color. And as I said, you can also make this one basically your iX EV. So then you will also have, as a plug-in hybrid, the blue BMW logo, and you can have more blue accentuations, so you can really mix it around. The shadow line, of course, the more sinister look actually. And here, this is in this case then a petrol vehicle, and there we have the X line without the shadow line, and then you have these vertical fins in a brighter styling and also the bright frame around the kidney. In all cases, this is the compact SUV by BMW and one of the most successful models overall. You can see here different stylings, different powertrains. This is this BMW power of choice approach that they want to let the customers pick. Which trim and which powertrain would you go for? We can also continue later on in the review, and maybe then your decision is clear. This color here, by the way, is called Utah Orange. Beautiful color name, isn't it? 4 meters 50 or 177 inches is the length of this new generation. So just like 5 centimeters or 2 inches longer than the previous generation. Also a little bit wider track, both front and the rear. So a little bit larger the vehicle, but just slightly. Wheels from 17 to maximum 20 inch. These here are the biggest ones, mounted on all 3 vehicles. The base version of the X1 would have the wheel arches just in plain black. Here the X line has it in the painted black, high gloss. And we'll soon also see how the M Sport package looks like. I really love this contrast here from the side mirrors. So I'm team chrome basically, not team for the M Sport package where everything is black. I'll soon show the differences. Interesting that here, more aerodynamics, also with the door handles. You can see here they fold out, but then they are flush. And this is also a scheme for this vehicle. Better aerodynamics all around the vehicle, and also everything that is attached to the car, like the side mirrors and so on, actually create less wind noise. So you also have better noise insulation when driving on the interior. This is something where they paid attention to in this new generation. Towards the rear here, some kind of a shoulder, but overall a very simple and clean design. And if you have the matrix LED option, the rear lamps that already begin right here also have this special pattern right here. It would not appear in the base lamp version. And we can directly switch on to the rear, because at this moment we have a dark setup, and then you can really see how the signature here is newly formed, very modern styling. That looks cool, doesn't it? Side profile of the M Sport here in the shadow line, and here you can see M Sport goes then with painted wheel arches in the vehicle color, beautiful here in the matte frozen one, and then also have the shadow line with the black frames around the windows. Extended shadow line also paints the roof rails in black as well. So this is then the sporty look. I personally, I think I would prefer, love that frozen gray color, but then maybe with the X line, then you have the chrome accentuations around the windows. So that would probably be my design pick. Interesting that suspension-wise, you either get the base suspension or adaptive M Sport suspension, which is more comfortable and sporty at the same time, because it has this adaptive factor, and also sits 50 millimeters lower in the combustion engine versions, so petrol and diesel. If you go plug-in hybrid or with the iX1, the electric version, it's not lowered because of battery protection, because the batteries on the lower floor sit a little bit lower, and it's just a safety precaution that they don't lower it 50 millimeters then. Here, X-Line in minimal white. The contrasts here are even more obvious then, because you have the white-black contrast, and the iX1 styling, the EV styling, standard with the blue accentuations. I think it looks really amazing, or what do you think? So I would not de-pick it here at the side, because to me it doesn't say, hey, I'm EV, but it's more like, hey, I got a cool blue design package, you know, and I think that's amazing. Also here in the rear, in the lower part right there, a very, I would say, rectangular, strong styling also in the rear for all X1 versions. Here with the X-Line, just a silver contrast, and then we move over again to the M Sport vehicle we have here with the shadow line, and there you can see we have high gloss insert right here and this diffuser style in the M Sport, so it looks sporty. And yeah, there's no job for the AFAP, for the audio fake exhaust police today, because they do not use fake exhaust. The same for the petrol version. Let's take a look. So this one here, X-Line petrol version, also looks a little bit different in the lower part, but yeah, no fake exhaust. So I think a great clean design job by BMW. How do you like the all-new X1 in the styling? So now it gets really exciting. As for powertrains, of course, the most interesting one, the all-new iX1, the X1 EV, so to speak. 62 kilowatt hours net is the battery size. What range will we score? We will keep you updated, so hit subscribe on our channel and also activate the notification bell to see the driving review of this one. But at this moment, from the size, I would rather guess like 300 kilometers plus and, you know, like 190 miles plus. So as a conservative estimate for that vehicle, it can also be more. Here then, all-wheel drive, also 50-50 distribution, one electric motor in the front, one in the rear. We can also expect a base entry version very soon, where you only then have the front-wheel drive, so only one electric motor. In this case here, with the all-wheel drive, 5.7 seconds is the acceleration figure, so quite powerful already. And recharging will be 11 or 22 kilowatt AC and 130 kilowatt DC, then 29 minutes from 10 to 80% state of charge. Will also feature a heat pump. Then here, this is the plug-in hybrid drivetrain, 1.5 liter petrol 3-cylinder plus electric drive. Plug-in hybrids, will they be important? I think people will rather go for, hey, I'll directly go EV now, or I will stick with petrol because I really cannot recharge yet. And on the pure ICE side, either a 2-liter diesel or 1.5 3-cylinder petrol engine, or then here the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. This is the top spec, 23i, at this moment the strongest pure petrol engine. Key fob here, this is the one of the M Sport, therefore you have the M colors. It's very light, quite good. Then again the flush door handles and door closing sound. Pretty cool, very interesting, very clean door closing sound indeed. This one being the M Sport line, we have here Sensatec at the inside of the door, so it's a high-grade leatherette, blue contrast stitches, optional 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system for music lovers, really good. We know it from the 2 Series Active Tourer already, and they also share the platform. And in the M Sport package on the interior then, we have the special steering wheel with these sportier accentuations. You still have real buttons in the steering wheel, glad to have that, so not only #capacitive BS. New digital instruments, this kind of like free floating display. So on the left side 10.25, right side 10.7. Soon more to that. And then here we always have sport seats for today. There's also a base seat available, which has less accentuation. But in the sport seat, you have the shoulder support right here, really cool. And they're available in other the normal seats in fabric, and then here you have a mix of microfiber on the inside and Sensatec leatherette on the outside, so an all animal-free seat, and it looks really great. I really love this M Sport seat. I hope for you can also get it in your country. We'll have to see about that later on. And the seating comfort is indeed also really very good. Upright seating position, feels already grown up, that vehicle. Good shoulder support, takes weight off the lumbar area. This is really awesome, and this is not the biggest BMW, one of the smallest ones, and already delivers such elaborate and very comfortable experience. One means 89 or 6'2", still a lot of headroom left, although this is also the one with the panoramic roof. And it's also one that, you know, when the car would be properly powered, you can, there we go. So I activate it now. And then you can also open it completely like this. And also this middle bar there, by the way, they made it a little bit slimmer, so you have a little bit more visible area there. But it will be very interesting now to compare the different trim levels. Let's take a look there. In the M Sport, we had aluminum deco elements. Here, they're high gloss black. That would be my least favorite, I think, but there's soon more to come, and that's what the choices there. The steering wheel, here the base steering wheel, also looks quite modern and fancy. Of course, the M Sport steering wheel looks even cooler. This is also the sport seat. However, here then with the animal skin surface, and now it gets really interesting, because when we look at that from the styling, also feel, you know, how it feels. Let's remember that, because there are new Sensatec seats available, and we will directly compare them now, how they feel. And here now, deco elements are also available in the matte wood trim, open cell wood. This looks also really classy. As we've shown in the M Sport, you can also go for the sportier aluminum look, of course. And then now here, the seats. These are the new perforated Sensatec seats, and indeed, if you compare it to the animal skin surface, leaving all ethical thoughts aside for this moment, here, look at that. They are softer actually, they are perforated, they look better, they feel better, and indeed, when I take a seat in here, because they are softer and also have this perforation, they indeed feel better. So just from the practical aspects actually, and from the seating experience, indeed, my favorite would still be the microfiber sport seat. If you can get it in your country, it just gives you more sportiness and yeah, just feels coziest. But here then, the perforated Sensatec seats are, you know, very soft, great experience also as well, very comfortable, and definitely better from the seating comfort also if you compare to the animal skin. Interior overview, really clean and sophisticated. Sensatec dashboard you can also get with a great look. And the screens, by the way, they call the right one Control Display with 10.7 inch, always the same size, and then 10.25 on the left, they call it Information Display, which is to me a little bit confusing, because if you hear information, you always think it's the infotainment on the right? So strange BMW naming. Whatever, you know, they form one unit. And then this is then here the cool M Sport steering wheel. Great size here, shifting pedals. And you can see in this M Sport trim, we have the aluminum styling once again, and then this kind of like this meshed look right here. Interesting also gets here in the lower part. This is the inductive charging pad for your phone, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay connection, wireless. And we have here like two slots, small slots inside, and they are cooling. They suck away the air that the inductive charged smartphone does not overheat. And then you put it right here, and then it has kind of like a seat belt for your smartphone, and it stays tight, and also always has connection to the inductive charging pad behind it. Cup holders are not adaptive, sadly. That's the only hit and miss here in the interior, two USB-C chargers. And then you have this floating console with like space underneath, zombie hands. This is interesting, definitely. And also there's a shifting lever here, always automatic transmission, still a manual volume jog. And then here you can lift up the armrest, not too much space, but overall they take this design here for the smaller models, inspired from the all-new, all-big BMW iX EV. Infotainment system, well, the climate dials are not manual, they are hidden here in the lower area. At least they stay on the same position. But let's check out. I'm cold. There we go.
I will increase the temperature. It will be more comfortable shortly. Let me know if it gets too warm for you.
Thank you. Now it's too warm. Okay, so that works actually. And this is the main menu structure, more like, you know, this big vertical area, but you can also go for another main menu structure, and that looks then like this, but that's a little bit overloaded. This is the BMW OS 8. I really always have to say OS 7 to me was, because here, you know, like, this is black now, but when I go here, then I have the hotkeys here. Why? Why do they disappear in the other version? Because I think then you, So some things don't make like perfect sense to me. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay connection looks like this, and the Harman Kardon sound system, by the way, this is like really recommended for music lovers because it delivers a very true tone experience, like it nice balanced bass and so on. So I definitely would go. That would be one of my favorite features actually. And Android Auto works the same way, of course. And the car internal GPS you see is also quite responsive. So even if you don't want to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can get along with the car internal GPS. Overall, the software gets improving and improving. These are the digital instruments. You can also change the contents you want to see in there, and you can also change the whole layout. And by the way, if there's some error messages, these are all pre-production vehicles, so it's actually no wonder. And here the X1 does deliver a proper head-up display projected into the windscreen. Wasn't possible in the 2 Series Active Tourer because of the form of the windscreen. Here it is. Now the rear seating area, by the way, just got the exclusive information that also the US market will get here the microfiber Sensatec seats. Very rare that we have microfiber in the US, but now it's picking up. Really cool for all our US fans. And you will also have the Sensatec, of course, available. And animal skin isn't even offered in the US, so the US have the best seating choices actually. Here you can see, looks quite sporty also in the rear. I would also, always hug my microfiber that they are it's like in one direction. So let's see about the knee room we have. So it's a little bit longer wheelbase. You can see here when the seat is in the lowest position, I do have a problem with the recess. So if it would be a little bit higher, it would fit my knees a little bit better. But in that way, I mean, even with tall adults, you can put it a little bit higher. So this car is 5 tall adult proof. By the way, if you have a pure combustion engine version, so diesel or petrol pure, then you also get the option of 13 centimeters or 5 inches movable rear bench. In the plug-in hybrid or in the iX1, the EV, it's not possible. In the middle part, it's also fairly comfortable, just maybe problem with the knees then, but you can exactly, when you put a little bit more forward, drive it with 5 tall adults. Also headroom in the rear is no problem. Very comfortable rear bench, ISOFIX we have there. And then here, adaptive cup holders as well. Overall, the build quality is really very decent. And it really makes a good impression overall. USB-C chargers here in the middle. Interesting, by the way, that here the Sensatec perforation also covers the rear seats. So that's cool. Usually it's the case that only perforation is then, for example, on the front seats. But here with this vehicle, they really thought about the rear passengers. And another feature for the rear bench is also, this is here in the iX1 version, here, the back part of the seats, you have this, these lashes here. And then you can pull them, and then you can actually change the angle of the seat. Here a little bit more upright or a little bit more backward, depending on what's comfortable for you. 540 up to 1,600 liters in the trunk capacity for the ICE models. Plug-in hybrid or EV have 50 liters less, but on the top part it's the same. Here the backpack fits in easily, 1-1-1 split, and then the length here is 90 centimeters or 35 inches. The width is a clear meter or 40 inches, and the height here below the cover, just about 40 plus centimeters and 17 inches plus, of course, overall a little bit higher. And here, plug-in and iX1 have place for the charging cable underneath, and just this lower area. This is then bigger with petrol and diesel. This is the petrol trunk, and you would see here, this is then the difference. Just more space underneath, but the rest is the same. And now the question is, which one to go for, which BMW X1 to buy, which would be my recommendation. I would actually go still for the pure petrol engine, 23i. This is a 2-liter 4-cylinder. It will drive the best. It will have the best power, has all-wheel drive. And we know it from the 2 Series Active Tourer. It feels one with the vehicle. It's, to me, actually the best engine choice for this vehicle. As for the trim, well, the thing is, the M Sport's really cool from a sporty exterior and also gets the adaptive M suspension, best comfort, and also the cool microfiber Sensatec seats on the interior. So 23i with the M Sport would be actually my primary choice. If you want to go a little bit less in budget, a base level, of course, would also do, and you still get more or less the same X1 experience. The M Sport is always connected, exterior and interior. You cannot separately put it. X-Line, however, is also nice, and then you can also get these nice new Sensatec seats perforation on the inside. As for the iX1, if you think about petrol or all electric, the iX1 will also deliver a very good driving experience. We can expect it, low center of gravity. And if you want to go all electric, if you have the charging infrastructure, then of course you might as well go for that one. The only problem with the iX1 I see coming is, if we compare it to a Kia EV6, Ioniq 5, VW ID4, it has around 15 kilowatt hours net less capacity than the competition. So we might expect it will also have less range, unless it is super efficient and it can catch up for this gap. And that we will deliver to you in the driving experience. Definitely check out the competition right now, or maybe also the 2 Series Active Tourer, which sits on the same platform.